The Formula One circuit approaches the Belgian Grand Prix amid substantial developments across multiple teams. Reports from Dutch media outlets consistently highlight Max Verstappen's uncertain commitment to Red Bull beyond the current campaign, with sources suggesting his potential exit should the team fail to regain competitive performance in forthcoming rounds. Concurrently, German motorsport journalists indicate George Russell's Mercedes contract renewal nears completion, with formal confirmation anticipated in the immediate future. Russell's demeanor throughout recent media interactions appears to reflect ongoing contractual discussions. The sport's administrative structure also confronts possible leadership transitions, as Tim Mayer, contesting current FIA President Ben Sulayem's position, has revealed his electoral manifesto following previous postponements. His agenda focuses on reinstating democratic governance within the FIA, addressing worries about elected supervisory officials being removable by the executives they oversee. Spa-Francorchamps preparation reveals diverse rear-wing configurations across competing outfits. Ferrari exhibits particular concentration on experimental methodologies, motivated by their recently introduced rear suspension architecture presently experiencing optimization. The SF25's modified rear suspension elements tackle the vehicle's propensity toward rear instability during deceleration, which formerly affected corner approach characteristics and generated front-end understeer, producing cascading balance complications. Ferrari's technical goals concentrate on reducing rear ride height while avoiding excessive suspension stiffness, maintaining tyre contact patch effectiveness. Charles Leclerc recognized restricted preliminary observations concerning handling modifications during evaluation, though he intentionally refrained from comprehensive technical analysis. Evaluation proved difficult as drivers lacked comparative information from the former suspension setup on equivalent circuits, while testing sessions employed demonstration tyres instead of competition compounds. Nonetheless, data examination reportedly validated advantages from the redesigned rear suspension arrangement. Leclerc has embraced more reserved communication following earlier occasions where frank comments regarding team challenges triggered media conjecture about power unit troubles. He presently considers making sweeping declarations about suspension capabilities unwise. Lewis Hamilton similarly discussed the testing period, clarifying it simply constituted a promotional event with no observable modifications in vehicle characteristics. Hamilton provided fascinating insights about Ferrari's past achievements, observing that despite utilizing outstanding drivers including Fernando Alonso, Kimi Raikkonen, and Sebastian Vettel across 2 decades, only Raikkonen captured a title with the organization in 2007. Hamilton conveyed resolve to prevent comparable situations, declaring his aim to question established methods since repeating approaches produce repeating outcomes. He highlighted the importance of his objective considering restricted remaining professional duration. Recent periods witnessed Hamilton regularly attending Ferrari's locations for tactical conversations with diverse staff concerning power unit advancement and suspension arrangements for the forthcoming campaign. He additionally delivered balanced commentary on Christian Horner's Red Bull departure, acknowledging Horner's accomplishments and the knowledge necessary to operate such intricate establishments successfully. Previous accounts suggested Toto Wolff confirmed Mercedes would emphasize maintaining George Russell alongside Kimi Antonelli when addressed about Verstappen rumors. Russell encountered thorough questioning upon circuit arrival, categorically declaring no agreement presently exists and conveying doubt about finalizing discussions within 2 weeks considering the crowded calendar including Spa-Hungary and the seasonal pause. Russell exhibited assurance concerning his circumstances, mentioning limited anxiety from his viewpoint since team management would eventually choose their favored path, permitting him to react appropriately. He stressed concentrating on performance while trusting that additional issues would settle naturally, considering his position stable based on capability. Russell maintained Mercedes demands superior driving expertise and regarded himself among the premier competitors accessible. Auto, Motor und Sport, a reliable German publication, documented Russell approaching contract extension with Mercedes following constructive discussions between the Silverstone and Spa events. Despite continuing conjecture about Verstappen's possible Red Bull departure, Russell's Mercedes persistence appears more likely, potentially removing alternatives for Verstappen's team transition. The publication implies Verstappen will probably stay with Red Bull, not necessarily through choice, but because Mercedes might eliminate that possibility. This constitutes a departure from previous transfer speculation, reasoning that Russell's outstanding seasonal display may not warrant the difficulties policies associated with pursuing Verstappen, including release provisions and handling Jos Verstappen's participation. Concerning Red Bull's 2026 power unit venture, initial worries about development speed have been resolved according to knowledgeable sources. Red Bull Powertrains has seemingly achieved designated performance targets, though dependability concerns remain regarding energy recovery and distribution mechanisms. The Ford partnership advances satisfactorily, albeit carefully, regarding engine provision due to reliability factors. While potentially weaker than Mercedes units and initially unreliable, the power source could supply Verstappen with competitive equipment. Verstappen's media session featured multiple inquiries about his future intentions. Concerning potential Mercedes chances, he replied, "Typically, there's equally a possibility I won't awaken tomorrow. Existence stays uncertain." He suggested that executing his present contract showed plans to finish his career with Red Bull, though recognized doubt about that probability. Questions about fresh team management under Laurent Mekies, who moved from Racing Bulls, disclosed that Mekies has already instituted modifications, including simulator session alterations, indicating he contributed immediate enhancement concepts rather than embracing an observational strategy initially. Concerning Horner's exit, Verstappen noted it wouldn't affect his choice to stay or depart Red Bull. He rejected attempting to compel Horner's dismissal, recognizing that the preceding 18 months hadn't developed as desired. Leadership selected an alternative strategic approach, demanding universal acceptance and progressive momentum. Conjecture about a potential Sardinia encounter with Toto Wolff received notably evasive replies from both individuals. Wolff implied they coincidentally holidayed in the identical area, while Verstappen declared he was swimming and such topics didn't concern him. Importantly, neither party explicitly rejected meeting, sustaining speculation despite recent accounts suggesting the Mercedes transfer stays improbable. Weekend meteorological predictions suggest potential precipitation during Friday training and sprint qualifying sessions in the afternoon. Saturday should stay dry, but Sunday's competition increasingly seems destined for wet circumstances, with storms potentially arriving around 5 p.m., guaranteeing thrilling racing if forecasts prove correct. Present evaluations indicate Verstappen's departure likelihood has reduced to roughly 20–25% from previously calculated 40%, though much relies on contract completion terms and Red Bull's shown development advancement in persuading him to remain. George Russell becomes the central figure as Verstappen's Mercedes links threaten his position stability. The British competitor maintains assurance that he and Mercedes can achieve understanding, but Horner's removal might generate additional uncertainties. Should Russell need alternative choices, the complete grid circumstances created by Verstappen and Red Bull's decline offers various opportunities. The 2025 championship continues producing extraordinary stories, particularly with Horner's departure after 20 years with Red Bull. Increasing conviction that Verstappen might join Mercedes follows accounts of him and Wolff being observed with private transportation in Sardinia. While potentially insignificant, the timing appears meaningful given Wolff's declared readiness to pursue even minimal Verstappen acquisition opportunities. Despite Russell's 2025 race triumph and 6 total Mercedes victories, his persistence with the Brackley organization through the fresh regulatory period remains questionable. Verstappen possesses decisive power as a 4-time world champion representing the grid's most desired commodity. This circumstance inevitably places Russell evaluating alternative teams. Presently, Red Bull constitutes the primary option should Russell become obtainable, establishing a sensible driver swap between Russell and Verstappen. However, situations have transformed dramatically with Horner no longer functioning as team principal and CEO. Earlier strategies Horner might have sustained for substituting Verstappen with Russell, demonstrated by their recorded discussions, may have disappeared.